June 15th, June 28th, New Style. The memory of Saint Jonah, Metropolitan of Moscow and all Russia, the miracle worker. Saint Jonah, Metropolitan of Moscow and all Russia, the miracle worker, was born in the city of Galich in the Kostroma region. At the age of 12, he took monastic vows in one of the monasteries in Galich and later moved to the Semenov Monastery in Moscow, where he served in various obediences for many years. Once during a visit to the Semenov Monastery, Metropolitan Photios of Moscow, after a moleben, wished to bless the monks working in the monastery. Coming to the bakery, he saw monk Jonah sleeping from exhaustion. In his sleep, Jonah's right hand was bent in a blessing gesture. Metropolitan Photius blessed the sleeping monk and predicted to those present that this monk would lead many to the path of salvation and become a great hierarch of the Russian Church. This prophetic prediction came true. A few years later, St. Jonah became the bishop of Ryazan in Murom. Metropolitan Photius passed away in 1431, and 5 years after his death, St. Jonah was elected Metropolitan of all Russia. When he went to Patriarch Joseph II in Constantinople to be consecrated as Metropolitan, it turned out that the insidious Isidore, a Bulgarian by origin, had already been consecrated to the Russian Metropolitanate. Isidore stayed briefly in Kiev and Moscow before attending the Council of Florence in 1438, where he accepted the union with the Catholic Church. The Council of Russian bishops and clergy then deposed Metropolitan Isidore, who fled secretly to Rome, where he died in 1462. Saint Jonah was unanimously elected Metropolitan of all Russia. With the blessing of the Patriarch of Constantinople, Gregory III, his consecration was performed for the first time by Russian bishops in Moscow. On December 15, 1448, Saint Jonah took office as Metropolitan, continuing his personal monastic labors. Saint Jonah was endowed by God with the gift of performing miracles and foresight. In 1451, the Tatars approached Moscow and prepared to attack the city. During a procession around the city walls, Metropolitan Jonah, with tears, prayed to God for the salvation of the city and its people, and saw the elderly monk Anthony, a virtuous monk from the Chudov Monastery. Saint Jonah said, "My son and brother Anthony, pray to the merciful God and the most pure Theotokos for the deliverance of the city and all Orthodox Christians." Anthony humbly replied, "Great Hierarch, we thank God and His most pure Mother. She has heard your prayers and has implored her Son to save the city and all Orthodox Christians. The enemies will soon be defeated. Only I am destined by the Lord to be killed by the enemies." No sooner had Anthony said this than an enemy arrow struck him. This prediction of Elder Anthony came true. On July the 2nd, the feast of the placement of the robe of the Most Holy Theotokos, confusion broke out among the Tatars, and they fled in unknown fear and panic. Saint Jonah soon built a church on his property in honor of the placement of the robe of the Most Holy Theotokos to commemorate the deliverance of Moscow from the enemies. Receiving notification of his impending death, Saint Jonah peacefully passed away on March 31st, 1461. Numerous healings occurred at his grave. His incorrupt relics were found on May 27, 1472, and placed in the Dormition Cathedral of the Kremlin. According to church tradition, during the Patriotic War of 1812, a terrifying vision at St. Jonah's tomb frightened the French. The miracle worker was found with his hand raised as if in a threatening gesture. Because of this, his silver reliquary and the candlestick beside it remained untouched, while all other valuables were stolen.